Great. Well, while we wait for maybe a few more folks to join us before our slideshow event, let's hear. Does anybody want to check in about their progress or get celebrated for finishing?
Well, I'm very excited because I wore my Anker to work today, and my boss was very impressed because he saw me knitting it on the train when we went into the city for a meeting. So I was very excited to actually wear it.
How'd it feel?
It felt great. It was so comfy. It looked great. I'm very excited.
That's wonderful.
I may make another one.
I know. It's kind of one of those patterns that once you do one.
I know. Can't help it.
I held mine up for my daughter last night. It's not finished yet, but I held it up and said, let's see how long it is. And she said, oh, it's a nice crop top.
Hilarious.
Because this is how much.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so pretty.
It's not quite long enough yet.
I love it.
But I love
such a rich color, huh? Teresa, what you got in your needles this week?
A color work sweater that I've been working on like for forever.
Oh wow.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, hold it up one more time so I can get you in the spotlight. Be sure that you're spotlighted. Oh wow.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Big learning experience.
What's the pattern on that?
It's called Orbits, I think. I'm on the just one color forever right now, so I haven't looked at it in a long time.
It was really beautiful, and I love your overalls and your Anker shirts.
Thank you. Yeah, the pattern is called Orbits by Unwind Knitwear.
Cool. Has this been your first color work project, like in a major way?
Yeah.
So incredible. Great. It looks like Mary Ellen Mortola has her hand up. Maybe we should do it like in grade school where it was like, you could be Mary Ellen with your middle name, and then the other Mary Ellen could be, but no, we'll just go with what we're going with.
Yeah, well, I just put it on, but it's not finished.
Okay. Well, we can't tell that from the part that we're seeing. It looks done.
I know. But I'm very happy with it. I love the way the colors kind of blended together, and yeah. So
it's pretty.
Really, really nice.
And now I'm going to take it off again so I can continue knitting.
Yep. Well, I'm glad that we got to see it on camera. Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I just wanted to say that the reason why I got mine done so fast is because it was my refuge while I was at the hospital with my husband for 3 days. So while I was in the waiting room for 2 different operations, it was like so good to have something that was in a way very monotonous and repetitious. So that's why I got it. I'm so thankful that I had this project.
Oh, Linda. Yeah, how's he doing?
He's doing great, thanks.
Good.
It's been like 3 weeks and it's really going well. Thank you.
Good. Sorry about that, but glad he's doing better.
Well, and I agree with you. You know, it does at, difficult times. Sometimes it really helps to have something just to do something when you feel like you can't do anything and you're kind of powerless in that moment. So I'm glad you had your Ankers there. So Susan, since we haven't seen you in a little while, do you want to tell us about how it went with finishing up, and maybe what you decided on your sleeve length?
So sure. I put myself on a mission to get it done. Like, got to get it done. And I mean, everything went fine, I think. I just, like, when I was at work on my lunch break, I was going to a quiet place and knitting for an hour, coming home, no one talked to me, blah, blah, blah. The sleeves made me at first a little nervous. I picked up 2 stitches. It wasn't the way you did in your video. It was that other video. Because I feel like you maybe cast on 2 extra stitches. And I did not do that. I forgot to do that. So I did it the other way. And I guess after I block it, I'll see, what that looks like with regards to holes and that kind of stuff. So should I weave in? I can't remember. Weave in the ends after I block it or before? Or does it matter? I read about it and everyone has an opinion, right?
I always like to do it before.
You do it before, okay.
Yeah, because once it gets wet and it blooms, it sticks everything together. Everything.
Okay, to do it before.
There's no room to weave it in afterwards.
Okay.
I mean, that's my thought anyway.
Gotcha.
Well,
gotcha.
And to that point, Pat, I would say also that weaving it in before, then it blooms woven in, so it's almost like a little added security, especially with the wool. Now with cotton silk, that's a little maybe less relevant, but yeah, it looks so good.
And my sleeve length, I did the 3 rounds of or the 3 whatever they're called, the 3 increments of decreases, and then I added 5 more rows before I went into the rib. So I mean, I'm great with it. And a funny story, I had to add. Okay, so I didn't know much about this Noro yarn. I'm a pretty novice knitter, so there are parts where it's a bit fluffy, and I thought that was a problem with the yarn initially. So I unwound some of it and cut it off and threw it away. No, that's what I did. So I'm glad I got 3 skeins because I had to go into the 3rd one, not by much, but true story. We have a new dog that we adopted. She's a rescue dog. And I caked it and I put it in my knitting spot for 2 minutes. And dang, if the dog didn't get the yarn and chew up some of the yarn. So I was trying to make do and figure it all out. And lots of little knots in one of those sleeves. A lot of lessons learned there. Lots of lessons learned on this one. And also too, so does the Noro, because I know it's such a big thing of yarn that comes. So I feel like they knot their yarn too. I came across some knots when I was knitting and I was like, well, I don't think it tangled anything. So they knot their yarn, right?
Yeah, I'm also using the Noro and I've seen knots every now and then.
Okay. I'm glad it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
So now I didn't feel so bad about making a knot when I was joining new yarn, because I was like, well, there are already knots there. So there's that. It was fun. I learned a lot. I really learned a lot on this adventure. So
you did a beautiful job. I love that color.
Oh, thank you.
With your hair, it's beautiful.
Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun being with y'all and all that good stuff. Thank you so much.
Aw, so good. Let's see, anybody else want to do a little check-in, say hello, share any new projects with us?
Well, I will say that I finished that, is it derecho?
Mm-hmm.
So I finished my derecho top.
Oh, cool.
I did not make the sleeves as long as we did on the other because it didn't lend itself to that.
Okay.
So I figure you know, if it's that important to me, I'll just put it over a long sleeve shirt or something. But anyway, it's finished, and I kind of like it.
Looks great. Let me spotlight you to be sure that you're on. So while you're holding it up, yes.
So it's long, you know, and it's got that tail on the back. So it was a nice knit once I figured out my boo-boos. You know, we all have boo-boos. I had to have Iris help me in the beginning because I lost my beginning of row about the time it was time to start setting up for the, what do you call those?
Raglans.
Yeah, the raglan part. So I had to do some math to figure out where those places were. But anyway, it worked out and it's all finished.
What's the name of that pattern?
Derecho, D-E-R-E-C-H-O. I think that's right. It's in Ravelry. It was the other option that we were going to have to Anker a sweater. So since I had made 2 Anker sweaters, I thought I would make the Derecho. So I got 3 out of this knit along.
Oh, that's awesome. And I really I like that that detail of the derecho it's such a nice finished edge that it has,
and it's
with that
really
drop
easy because it's just a purl row, you know. Great. But they do it in such a nice way that it comes across, you know. It's really nice. I encourage y'all to try it. They assume you know a lot in that pattern. That's where I got in trouble. So if you're a beginning knitter, you might have a little frustration, maybe not a lot, but anyway, whereas the Ankara was a little more helpful, this other one assumes you know, but you might not. So, but anyway, it turned out real well. So.
Well, Pat, what you're just saying makes me really glad that we did not choose it for the knit along, because I think that would have been a really different experience for everybody, because one of the real blessings of this whole choice of pattern is how it's really been pretty accessible to most knitters. And a lot of people have said that it's, you know, kind of a relaxing knit. So I think with the knit along, as we get smarter about these, you know, choosing our pattern choices, having that fine edge between a little bit of stretch, but not high frustration level.
Agreed.
Anybody else want to pop on and say hello and give us a progress update? Oh, hi, Mary Ellen Mulhern. Did you just wave your hand?
I did. Well, I finished. I held it up last week, but I finished. And
yay!
Pretty.
Yeah.
Looks so nice.
We're twins.
And I also like it because I can wear a shirt under it.
Yeah.
And a long sleeve blouse or shirt. And I was so inspired by everyone last week that I decided to make one out of the Sonata. I just liked how everyone's looked. So I'm swatching for another one.
Very good.
Love it. Oh, you did such a beautiful job. And I think you're going to love having 2 of these shirts.
I think so too. It's a great pattern.
What kind of yarn is it, Mary Ellen?
This yarn?
Yes, that one.
This one is the Cashmerino. It's kind of like baby yarn. It's merino. No, a little bit of cashmere. Merino. I think it has some acrylic in it.
Yeah.
It's very soft.
Nice.
So pretty.
It's pretty.
Nancy, do you want to give us a little update? We haven't seen you in a little while.
Yeah. Well, I'm about 4 inches away from the finish. So mine's the monochrome, same as Kristen's.
Nice.
And I like the yarn. I really thank you so much, and the Cashmere Goat, for having these knit-alongs. For me, I fell down a flight of stairs in September, and so knitting has been my refuge. I'm an avid quilter, but I'm now knitting because I broke 4 bones.
Oh my gosh.
So I've been very fortunate to join your knit-alongs, and I've really enjoyed it. And I've tried it on, and it does fit me well. So I'm very happy with the pattern, and I love it. So thank you so much for what having the knit-alongs. It's wonderful.
I'm so glad that you could join us, especially at a time that was a little bit rough when you were maybe needing some community too, right?
Yeah, right. So it's good. Yeah.
Good. And where are you from again, Nancy?
I live on Spruce Head Island, and I'm back here in Maine. Lovely, and we live in Florida in the winter. So, but I'm back in Maine, so I'm happy.
Yay. Well, I hope that we'll get to see you at the Goat this summer.
Yes, you will. Thank you.
Good. Nice. Well, anybody else want to hop in here and let us know what's going on with your knitting? Yes, Wendy, what do you got going on?
Well, I have this I made in the Sonata, the one.
Yep.
And I made the extra large, and now I'm doing a medium because that's how the swatching worked out in the line.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the stitches are so regular. I know some people said the Sonata it's like so wobbly kind of stitches. It's uneven and you know, thick pieces. And this one, I think I always enjoy it the second time because I'm not as nervous or you know whatever about it. But it's just a nice yarn to work with, and I like I say, I'm really enjoying it this time and just not so nervous about the mistakes or the size and keep trying it on and stuff. So,
and it's cotton linen.
It's a line. What is it? I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up.
Don't worry about it. Will you hold it up? Somebody was asking for you to hold it up again.
Nice. It almost looks like the Sonata purple color.
So is it kind of a dusky purpley?
It's kind of a real purple. It's like a
real purple. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
It seems
I
like
can see
maybe
it
a thicker yarn. Is it a thicker yarn? Is that why you make such a smaller size?
No, it's just more even. The Sonata is, you know, they're always the Noro yarns are usually that way, thick and thin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just had a question. When you run across a knot in like the Noro, do you take it out and re-knot it yourself, or do you assume it's a good knot?
I pull on it a little bit, and they've all seemed pretty tight. So I just make sure it's on the inside.
Okay.
And I haven't done anything with it.
Yeah. So now I want to do a multicolored one. I saw your sale, and I'm actually going to Yarmouth, Maine tomorrow. So I may come to the store Friday. So I'm just so excited. But we can still buy yarn today for the
yes.
Okay. Because I had my sales thing all filled out to order it. And then I said, wait, I'd rather go up. Is the sale still on Friday?
So the sale on the clearance items will still be going on Friday. Yes.
But I could order another because there was a variegated one that I wanted to order. I was looking at today for in
terms of the Ankers. Yes. Your Ankers code is good until 11:59 tonight.
Right. Yeah. Because I love the multicolor that you have.
Yeah, it's been fun to see some folks with the multis and with the stripies. I think Linello has not been a super popular one. There's maybe only one person that I can think of who's also done two. So I don't know, but I think the Sonata has been one of our best sellers for this project, probably followed by Pride. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm debating between the Pride, but the Pride doesn't have multi. This one had some beautiful multis, and it's not one that you mentioned. I'm just going to look it up and see what you think.
Oh, maybe Vivo. Vivo has some really nice. It feels like very free and like beachy. It's 100% cotton.
Oh,
it's really
okay.
nice.
I'll look it up and see, because I have to figure out how much I need.
Because there's also the Sonata Shima that has stripes.
Right, I was looking at that. I don't think I want to do another Sonata. I just want something
just get something different.
Yeah, something different. Although I love the colors.
Oh, that's so great. Anybody else want to update us? And then maybe we'll do a little slideshow action.
So this is Linda in Alabama.
Hi,
I wanted to say that, I knitted this one out of the, it's not line, it's the 10 or the tine line, but I held 2 yarns together, and I too love how the stitches are so even. You know, it's very smooth. I was very happy with it.
It's so beautiful. The yoke is just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's, you know, when I first saw this pattern, I thought it was some trick where you offset the ribbing, but it's really just ribbing.
It's beautiful.
Striking look. Thank you.
Hey, Susan Murray. You might need to unmute.
I unmuted myself.
Great.
Well, I'm kind of the behind person. I started late, but I'm very glad to get on the body. Unlike many of you who were complaining that it might be a bit boring, I'm probably going to love it because I don't have to worry. So this is about where I am.
Hold it still for a second. Let's see if it can. There we go.
Sleeves are tied off.
Great.
And I'm concerned about if it's going to fit.
Did you try it on?
Well, no. And then I tried, and then I dropped stitches, so I didn't try again.
Did you buy a barber cord?
Yeah.
Well, then you should put it on your barber cord and try it.
You mean the whole thing?
Like the body, yeah.
Oh, but then I'd have to. It's when you use a barber cord, do you stick it at the end of the needle and then pull it off?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yep.
Okay.
And then I mean, it's, you want to be a little careful. I mean, just a little, go a little bit slow, but it certainly will be faster than putting it on a waist piece of yarn or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you could try it, because I mean, that's why so many of us got into the barber cord game with this, because it was just so nice to take 2 minutes and pop it on barber cord and get it on your body and look in the mirror and then get it back off the barber cord and keep knitting or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the chest part is the part that I always and I measured under the arms and it's 3 and 3, 6, like 26 inches. And I'm bigger than that.
So I mean, that would be like ×2, or that was,
no, it was
26
13
total.
13 across. And then 13 across the other side.
Got it.
Which didn't seem very big to me. And I have more stitches on here than I should.
Well, I would say that, you know, had you not just, so I would definitely say you should definitely try it on as your homework. And then, you know, if it's feeling too tight, you're just going to rip it back to your ribbing, and then you're going to add like another segment, and then it's going to fit you like beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how I am about ripping out. I try to avoid it at all costs.
Well, if you don't want to rip out, never make a mistake. That's all.
I made my second one in wool and thought the very same thing. I don't know if you can see it. And I tried it on, and it really did stand out. because of that yoke neckline. So my second one, it looks real small, but I tried it on halfway and it was much bigger.
Okay,
Great.
thank you.
I'm going to spotlight you. Will you hold it up for us again, Eileen? Oh, yeah.
Oh, pretty.
See how
Nice.
and the neck, see, this one is really, and this is much smaller, but when you put it on, it hugs it and it
Yeah,
stretches.
my neckline looks like your blue, the blue sweater.
Yeah,
but
I like that better than this one. I'm still wearing t-shirts under it.
I think a lot of people found that when it was on the needles, it did look small, but yeah, so it's great to just give it a try on, see how that works.
I like Mary Ellen's neckline.
Which Mary Ellen? Oh, the one still wearing the.
Thank you all.
Yeah, well, this is so fun. Should we watch our slideshow now? And for the big event, let's see. Oh yes, Wendy.
So I looked up the yarn and it's Ella Ray Cashmerino.
Okay, yep.
And it's part wool.
Yeah, that's a newer yarn to us. I would love to see how that knits up.
Okay, because I like the colors. So, all right.
I'm gonna make sure that one is in the collection and therefore discountable. So I'm making a note and I'll do it right after our Zoom.
Yeah, it says sport speckled. Yeah, and I really, there's a lot of great colors.
That is awesome. All right, so let me first do this. And I'm going to go over to share screen. Okay, so let me start our show. Okay. I don't have music because I was all set with the movie, and unfortunately there was something wrong with the resolution. So we're just gonna have to suffer with just the beautiful pictures, not the music. Yay.
Nice. Nice.
Really nice. That variegation.
Sonata is so different in all those colors.
Oh, I love
Here's
it.
a nut.
Yeah, wow.
That's great.
And she's working on one in Pride. Number 2, Anker, is in Pride. So she'll have one in some of our favorite yarns.
She'll like the Pride. There's my Pride.
There you are.
Yay.
Yes.
And then the next slide, it's still Pat.
Oh, wow.
Yay.
That is beautiful. I want to make one of those now.
I think I'm going to make one too.
Yeah.
Just keep hearing us on speed dial.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Oh, very nice.
Hold on, what happened? Oh gosh, okay.
I love that color.
Really good. Isn't it awesome how it fits everybody?
Yes.
Look how beautiful this is, with and without a shirt.
Yeah, that's great.
Really nice.
Wow.
Joanne looking so cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Summary.
And that was Sonata in the whites.
Very nice.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, I love that color.
Ocean.
Beautiful.
Yay, Teresa.
Yay.
Our girl.
Pride. That has kind of a bumpy tweedy thing, it looks like in it.
A little bit.
Or is it just photographed that way?
No.
It's a little texture, definitely. The same with the Linello.
Oh,
hey, Eileen.
So pretty.
Lovely color.
Great color.
Oh, that's
Oh.
nice. Is that another one just like yours?
That's a Sonata Shima. So
Oh,
it's the Sonata, but it's in the stripy version.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved it. She like had on her yoga pants. She was like hopping into the goat last weekend and had her. It just looks so comfy. It's great.
It does. Oh, pretty.
Oh, beautiful.
That is.
Pima. So has Pima got some cashmere or something in it? Because it sure looks pretty.
It's so pretty. It's just 100% cotton.
Really? Wow.
It's so soft.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Super soft.
Another white one. Beautiful.
Oh, I love how it drapes that one.
Yeah. I may have to try a white one now. Oh,
this is the Vivo.
That.
Yeah, it's the Vivo. Doesn't it look great on Marsha?
I love that.
Yeah.
Love the color.
Yeah.
Very springy.
Definitely.
Summery. Yeah. Very nice. The
cotton glacé.
No, pretty.
And it looks like this one is a little bit more of a cropped length.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's Mary Ellen, who we saw the real deal today.
Very nice, Mary Ellen.
Yes.
Great colors.
I like the way that they blend together as opposed
There's
to just
our
making
sailing
stripes.
Yeah, I was very pleased with that. I didn't know what it would look like, but I'm very happy with, you know, it almost looks like waves kind of.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Definitely. Sorry about the glitchy advancing. Here we go.
Love that.
Girl sailing. I wonder what she's looking out those windows.
I think it was the Dalmatian Mountains or something like that off the coast of Croatia. Yeah. So elegant.
Good job, girl.
Somebody, Miranda, who works at the Goat, she was showing the slideshow to her children, and one of her children, her son, when they were looking at this and they were like reading the slide, he said, "Do you mean crochet-sha?" I said, I think he's our kind of guy if he's making good wordplay about yarn and needlecraft. Yeah. And here's Miranda.
Wow.
Oh,
that's stunning.
Is that one of those big balls?
It's one of the big balls, and she had some left over from another project, and it gave her the idea to try some striping with it. I think it looks so good.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, I like that.
Whole different look.
Yes.
And the shorter sleeve too.
Yeah. Yep.
She has the arms for it.
Oh,
nice.
Kristen, pretty.
Now, is that kind of corrugated stripy?
Good job, Kristen.
So this is that monochrome. Say again.
Stripy,
but it looks more like it's stripy kind of. It stripes a little, does it?
It's almost like almost like a gradient striping, or maybe an ombre. It's hard to know exactly the word I want for it, but it looks so good. And someone came into the shop yesterday. She said, "Well, I've been trying to resist and do all my gardening chores." And she's a pretty busy person with she teaches and she has a young child at home. And she said, and I just had to come in and I was really interested in the monochrome cotton. And Kristen happened to be wearing her shirt. And she said, "Oh, and she's even wearing the shirt. It looks so good on her." And so she ended up purchasing some of the monochrome, and there's a really nice kind of sage green that's going to be beautiful with her coloring, I think. Yeah.
So do an Anker too?
Yeah, she was going to do an Anker. Yep.
Oh, very nice.
Yep. She was like, I know I'm late to the knit along, but I was just trying to resist this whole time, and now I'm going to do it.
When you think monochrome, you think all the same color, but that's the band, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like the way the Noro colors go.
Beautiful.
Yep.
But subdued, you know.
Yes.
Very nice girl.
Nice.
Dynamic duo. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so much fun. And then thanks for joining us for the slideshow.
That's awesome.
Really.
Nice done. It was such fun to be part of it.
Oh, indeed. It was
Yeah.
fun. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it all the way from hot Louisiana.
I'm supposed to say hi to you guys from Diana Krawchuk.
From Diana Krawchuk.
She does some for Kristen. She said she does some of her social media. She helps her with social media. She's a knitter. Diana, Dayana.
Okay.
Diana knits.
Yes. Oh yes, totally. I know that person from Instagram.
Okay.
That's awesome. So we are going to be launching the finish along, and it's a very low key, low stress kind of a thing, and we are going to have a component for our remote goats as well. But basically we wanted to sort of keep up with our communities that we've built both in person and on Zoom, and give folks an opportunity to stay connected over the summer if you want to. And so the idea of a finish along is, if you've watched our podcast, you know that some of us have unfinished projects, not naming names.
Several.
And so if you wanted to join the finish along, I think we're going to do like 2 Zooms a month for the finish along throughout the summer. And then there's going to be almost every Sunday throughout the summer, starting on June 11th. I think the first Zoom will be the 14th. And if you want to sign up, we're going to do very just sort of occasional emails. It's not going to be as formal as this. Really, it's just encouragement and for fun, and to try to, like, you know, just check in on what everybody's making. I mean, gosh, you know, Pat will be finishing with like 14 projects over the summer, right? We got to keep up with her and see what she's up to. So I will pop a link to the sign up for the finish along if you're interested. And again, sometimes summer is just too hard to have one more thing. So you could totally skip out on this and then rejoin us in the fall for our fall knit along, which we're kind of starting to plan and get serious about. So yeah, I'll go grab that link and put it in our chat here. It's going to come out in an email this weekend, so you'll see it there as well.
Good. I'll tell you one thing I'd like to know about from the video that you all did on your unfinished work. Kristen was working on a weather or temperature crocheted blanket, and that so intrigued me. I went and did some research, but I could not find the pattern that she used, which I think is so beautiful. So if she
I'll look it
that,
right up.
I would love that.
I think I can find it. It was
whatever Ravelry had was not that.
Okay, and if you go there, Tony Lipsy, who yeah, so I'm gonna do 2 things, because Tony Lipsy is so great, and you're just gonna love her energy. And she's a knitter, a crocheter, and this is linen stitch in crochet. But there might be, I know she has knitted options too, but I'm going to put the link to.
Well, I enjoy crochet as well, so it might be fun to do something different for a change.
Oh, well, click on this link, because that takes you direct to her website, and she is just like such a positive, fabulous person. I saw one of her Fiberside chats, and she's got a ton of things on YouTube as well. But lot of tutorials and some really nice resources for like planning the temperature blanket and thinking about your colors and that sort of thing. So yeah, Tony Lipsey is super. And it was
Lipsey?
Lipsey. I will also put that in the chat as well.
Okay.
And I'll try to remember to put it in our Zoom recording too. But yes, it's so pretty. And I love the yarn that Kristen chose is the Chow by Jody Long. And it just, those colors are so rich and beautiful.
They are, and the pattern was just so gorgeous to me from what I could see. You know, it was not the typical granny square type together. It had a nice formation to it, the nice so anyway, so that the yarn was Chow.
It's like CIAO, I think.
Oh, that kind of Chow.
That kind of Chow. And the linen square crochet temperature blanket pattern is free, and you can see that right on this link in the chat if you want to too.
Okay, so how do I get to that link after we've finished?
So if you click on it now, it might open up in another browser window for you.
Let's see, how do I find it here? How do I, let's see.
And if not, if it's too fussy to do it, I'll put it in the little notes in our video.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you. I'll check it after we finish.
You had another sweater with the yarn. I think you called it confetti yarn.
Yes.
What kind of yarn was that? Or
so was it the white sweater with the kind of fluorescent speckles?
It looks so cute. I've never seen one like it.
Well, so that was a funny little thing. I guess it was the spring of 2021. I was just, I was still teaching, and I was so into the spring, and I was just ready to kind of have summer. And I started to imagine a sweater project, and I looked and looked for the design I wanted. I could so see it in my mind, and I just couldn't find it on Ravelry. And it was just a raglan construction, but a little bit of a boxy fit, but dropped hem in the back, bulky yarn. I had this whole picture in my mind, and I couldn't find it. And so I thought, well, geez, maybe I have to knit this up for myself and just play around and see if I can make it. And then I was like, okay, but what yarn? And I kept seeing this sort of rainbow confetti speckles, and I looked and looked, and I didn't see what I was after. I thought there was maybe like a Noro for a minute, but I was like, no, it was too pink. So I went onto Etsy and I started browsing for yarn dyers. And I found a lady who had something similar, and she had the rainbow confetti was on a gray base, which was pretty, but I really had pictured in my mind on white. And I asked her if she would be willing to try it on white for me. And then she said yes. And then I sort of had this special order, and then now she's selling it though. So I could add that in the link as well. She has it in different yarn bases too. So you can get it bulky, or you can get it worsted, I think. So I forget her name of her Etsy shop, but I will put it in the notes below our recording tonight.
Okay. That was just so different.
It's fun. All right.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Lucy, you've been a little quiet. What are you working on right now?
Oh, I'm still working on my anchor.
Great.
I'm about an inch away from the bottom ribbing.
Well, can you hold it up for us?
Yeah, we'd like to take my stitch marker out because I've already lost one stitch marker and I cannot find it.
Just one?
Dear. I do that.
Just one.
They have a life of their own.
Yeah, I'll find it sometime.
Ooh, yes.
I tried it on Sunday. It will fit.
So pretty.
I don't want it to grow
Gorgeous.
too much.
What's the yarn?
The Sands Garn line, the Tyne.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the line. It's called line.
Very good. Beautiful.
Oh, so pretty.
So I'm really close, but I forget who it was that really enjoyed the stockinette. The stockinette right now is driving me nuts because it doesn't seem to grow. Like every time I measure it, it doesn't seem to be another inch longer.
Lucy, this is so funny because that's exactly what somebody in the shop said over the weekend. She said, I keep measuring. It keeps being 19 and a half inches. I keep measuring. It keeps being 19 and a half inches.
Doesn't everybody?
And I've done nothing else since last Wednesday. I've not worked on anything else since last Wednesday except this.
Good for you, girl.
Yeah, really. I mean, I think sometimes the stockinette can feel a little bit like a job to me. Like, okay, I'm going to put in my time with the stockinettes.
I find that's when I make my mistakes because I'm not thinking.
And I have to hide it during Bible study, which comes up at 6:30, so nobody else knows I'm doing it. Because it's stockinette. You can do it during anything. So,
Oh, sure.
I don't want to get in trouble. I get accused of keeping my TV on during it. Tough group.
Tough group.
It is. It really is. So I'm almost there.
So a couple of things I wanted to make sure I mention. One is there is going to be the fiber. We talked about this last week, but the Fiberside Summer Crawl, which is going to be really fun way to be an armchair traveler to lots of very cool knitting stores around the country. And so it's no more Fiberside chats over the summer. They take a break, but they do this summer crawl instead. And so it's every Sunday you buy a pass for like $10 or something like that. And a lot of the yarns will offer special discounts or a pattern or something like that. I think there might even be, yes, there's a pattern that you can, that when you get your pass, and it's a crochet pattern or a knitting pattern, and it's kind of just, it's a blanket. It's the wonky squares or something blanket, and really designed to be a fun way to, let's say you buy a skein of yarn from various shops on the tour if you want to, that you can make something like as a memory of that event. And so that's fun. We are going to be doing, for those of you who might be in the Maine area, there's going to be another Maine yarn cruise, which is kind of like a shop hop through the yarn stores of Maine. And you know, you buy I think when you buy the pass, you get the cool bag and a little passport, and then you can take that around to each of the participating shops and you get a little stamp. And usually I think there's a free pattern and a raffle prizes that you enter in, and then there's a grand prize raffle. So we'll be promoting that as well. It runs from July 1st through like October. So you do have quite a lot of time. Some of you in Maine. And what else? There was something else that Kristen mentioned. Oh, well, as if you haven't seen already, great clearance on the clearance section right now that you might have seen in the email. That stuff has started to fly out the door, which was the intention, to get it into people's hands who want to make stuff with it instead of sitting on our shelves. So there's still some really good deals, and I haven't looked at quantities, but it seemed like there were still some solid amounts where you could really make something like a larger project size, especially in the Chris. The Chris was yarn that a couple of folks use. Actually, Kristen knit her Ramona sweater in the Chris. It's a very squishy, because it's a chainette kind of a construction for the yarn, and has, how do I describe the color? It's like there's a little bit of fuzz, but it's not like a mohair fuzz. It's like the fiber itself is a little fuzzy, so it sort of blooms and gets really, really cushy and soft. So I will just put a plug in. If you've been thinking about a Ramona sweater, there might be some good quantity for that. And what else was there? Oh, I know. Well, we didn't do a podcast this week. We're every now and then we have to take some breaks just because of other stuff. Plus, that way people would get bored of seeing us talk. So give everybody a break from that. Oh, Worldwide Knit in Public Day is June 10th. So wherever you are, be thinking about whether you have a local yarn shop or not. You could take your knitting and sit in a park, or if you have a local yarn shop, they might be hosting an event. We're going to be doing some knitting in the afternoon outside the shop. And so that having a fun little time where it's just a time to get yourself out there and show the world that we are proud of being knitters. And we'll sit in a park, or we'll take it to the library, or whatever our public knitting may be. I mean, I'm like, knit in public day, isn't that every day? I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
May I make a request?
Yes.
When you're don't spotlight me or anything.
Okay.
When you're doing, you're showing yarn, you know, in the shop, and you're telling us what it is and what it's made of and so forth, would you also include how much yardage is on each skein or ball, so that that'll help understand what we might be able to use it for?
Oh, great idea. In the podcast, you mean?
Yes. Or, you know, whenever you do your series and you make a tour through the shop and you show this yarn and that yarn.
Yep.
Just how much is in each skein, so you get an idea of how many skeins you'd need to.
Great idea. Love that.
Thank you.
Such good ideas in a group of knitters. Anybody who hasn't checked in? Bev, I know you don't like to think of it as being called on, but I just want to say hello. And how's life been going with your knitting world?
Oh, it's not been a knitting week. My husband taught a Dutch oven cooking class at Schoodic Point for 35 students and chaperones from a private boarding school. So we've been working on that for the last 4 days. It's done now, and it went really well. So
that's very interesting. Tell us more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we have a number of Dutch ovens because Rick also does reenactments. And these kids come up from the Hun School. It's associated with Princeton University. And it's kind of a capstone project, and they do kayaking and hiking and bird tours and stuff like that. And so when they were looking at what they could do, they asked Rick if he would do one of these Dutch oven classes. And we meet in the dining room, and the kids actually have to mix up the food, put it in the Dutch ovens. And then we go down and we put them on the fire with the briquettes and stacked and everything. And I never had kids, and I am amazed at how much teenagers can put away and not gain an ounce. It's kind of disgusting, really. But they ate it all, and they were very proud of their creations. We had one young man who told me, my mother will never believe I was cooking. So I took a picture of him with his creation so he could send it to his mother. But so
what kind of things were they cooking? Yeah. Tell us what they cooked.
We had lasagna, and we had ziti, and we had something called yampa chicken, and we had some Southwest chicken. They made a peach dump cake, an apple crisp, and a blueberry cobbler.
Wow.
Wow.
And yeah, and they had fun playing with the whipped cream cans.
Oh, bad.
But it went really well, and these young people were so well behaved. You know, you hear all these terrible things, and I do think there's hope for the world after meeting some of these folks. And the chaperones were wonderful. They were, you know, right in there helping the kids, and so it was very nice. But we've never done it for a group that large. So
is your husband a chef?
No, actually, he's a retired forest ranger. His name is Rick. He was Ranger Rick.
He was Ranger Rick. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yeah.
That's funny.
So, no, he's done it for several groups. He's done it for a couple of other high school groups, and he's done it for like senior college, and the food. He's a far better cook than I could ever hope to be.
Well, God bless you.
I am so blessed.
Like that.
I am so blessed. And we celebrated our 44th wedding anniversary last Saturday. So
yay, congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. We're still newlyweds. So
yeah, that's fabulous. I love that.
Yeah. yeah, we are truly blessed. So there hasn't been a lot of time for knitting. That, and you cannot get blueberry stains out of that nice coral colored yarn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You can't get blueberry stains out of anything. So
that's even true. If you never knit a stitch, always come and join the group because I love to see what you're up to.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
you know, you folks are just so inspiring. So it's like, you know, when I start to get discouraged, it's like, is it Wednesday yet? I need these ladies.
Oh, yay.
And I'll keep doing them. And I really do need the finish along. This will be good. You know, and I'm kind of like a not too far past the beginning along here, but it's all good. And I hope to be able to get down to the shop a couple of times this summer. So
that would be great. We'd love to see you.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Is a great Schoodic Peninsula is a wonderful, wonderful place. I had a dear friend in Winter Harbor, and
Yes.
she always was into the Schoodic arts and donating to them and doing performances and
Oh,
stuff.
they do some wonderful things at the Schoodic Arts Festival, and we're like 12 miles from you know, the park, the side of the park.
I love that Schoodic part of the park.
It's so nice. It's just so nice, and they're so good to us there. And it you know, I eventually you know, wanted to take a look at doing some sort of a knitting thing too.
Oh,
but I've kind of been nagging Iris about doing one down there where we could stay at that hotel that's next to them, and we could get just at the little bagel place, and then we could.
It is in our minds, Bev. It is. It's definitely something in the long-term visioning phase, because it really is. Yeah, it's fun to get away.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Well, maybe I did, but
sounds like a long distance knitting retreat to me.
Yes,
across the country. You know, if it was something we could all save for, that would be fun to get together.
Yeah, it would be.
It would be fun.
I'd love to see all of you in bigger than a 1x1.
You know, with makeup on and my hair combed.
My husband's planning a sailing trip with his friend the end of September, and I think I'm going to come stay at that hotel so I can come knit with y'all while they're sailing.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's nice. I have a wedding on the East Coast in early October, and I was thinking of coming, you know, a little early and maybe come to Maine. So beautiful there.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is. And that's such a beautiful time to visit for
October,
sure.
Yeah, September, October are best months. They truly are.
Agreed.
So,
but I would love to come to Maine myself. I'm looking for a low-cost housing or hotel experience in August, which might be impossible, but
it's pretty impossible.
I'm still researching.
It's peak season, but hey, it's always worth trying. You never know what.
It would be nice to meet people and, you know,
absolutely
see that people have legs, maybe. You know, not a requirement, but well, this has been so much fun to have you all participate in another one of our knit-alongs, and some new faces this time around, and some returning faces, and connecting with our main friends who are too far away to get into the shop. So it's really special that we've had you, and stay tuned for probably an August announcement for the September knit-along. So that's when that's going to come out. And if you want to join the finish along, you can think about that. And again, it's pretty low key, but I think it'll be a nice way to stay connected with everybody.
Iris, thank you so much for your help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been great.
I can't wait for fall.
I know.
Yay.
Wonderful.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a good summer.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Bye now.